everyone, this is Persephone, and today we are going to talk about adult breastfeeding fetish, aka Lactophilia. I have a sub who is very much into this fetish and I decided to make this video to spread some knowledge. If you ask me, I don't have any personal experience with the fetish because I've never been pregnant. If I ever did get pregnant, I would experiment a lot, and overall I'm not against it. But I think a lot of people have very negative associations with the fetish because of the whole, it makes them think of incest, of children, or of, adult age play, which is something that I've spoken about in a previous video, but still many people are judgmental. So I think it's good to clear things up because we do not kink shame on this channel, and if you come here to kink shame, you're going to get blocked. And of course, I'm going to tell you how to make money out of this fetish. Adult breastfeeding is a fetish that refers to men who experience sexual arousal by either watching women lactate or breastfeeding from women directly, or overall have sex with women who are lactating. And if you ask why on earth would a woman lactate while having sex, it's a natural reflex. Okay, it happens to women who are postpartum, they had a pregnancy recently, so when they get aroused, they may excrete milk from their nipples. I have asked people and I have also done my own research and I didn't get a definite answer, but I'm going to tell you my own personal opinion. I think most of the fetishes, if not all of them, stem from childhood needs, like things that happen from the age of 0 to 5 years old. So in the first year of life, when the baby is breastfeeding and is obsessed with nipples and with mom's boobs and all of that stuff, if something happens and the baby ends up deprived or something goes wrong, it ends up with an adult who is obsessed with the whole reenacting the action of breastfeeding in multiple ways. And it doesn't have to be the fetish itself. It could be people who are smoking, people who like to suck on things, people who are obsessed with lactation, and so on. It takes various forms. It may contain age play, like someone who wants to be an adult baby, but not necessarily. I mean, there are people who are adults and they are in consenting relationships that include breastfeeding or include those things essentially build intimacy, okay? So it doesn't matter, and it doesn't necessarily mean that someone who is into that fetish wants to experience age play. I say that because that's usually what I get as an accusation that, ew, someone wants to be an adult baby, I'm not into that. That's not true. When it comes to how the fetish manifests, there are people who seek encounters with women who are lactating, and by people I mean primarily men. And I've even read that there is a brothel offering lactation services, but there are also people in committed relationships. Those relationships are called adult nursing relationships, ANR as an acronym, and someone may or may not be in one while having that fetish. It depends on the person. People that I've spoken to, because before I film each video, I always ask people from those communities, they said that it's a great way to experience intimacy, that it bonds them with their partner, it helps them distress, and if the woman had a recent pregnancy and she has too much excessive milk or some other kind of thing, it really helps her with a practical aspect as well, that she doesn't have to pump the breast milk out because her partner is just breastfeeding from here and solves that problem. I realized when I was reading all of that I knew someone who actually was in an ANR when I was 19, because I had a friend that she had a boyfriend, and at some point she had mastitis and she started having excessive milk when she wasn't pregnant and she didn't have a baby. So she wanted me to go to the doctor with her for moral support because her mom thought that she's a virgin and she was embarrassed, so I had to go there too. And pretty much the doctor told her that she needs to stop all of those lactation games with her boyfriend because I think they were pretending that he was breastfeeding and they did it so much to the point that she actually started lactating. So she had to take specific pills with hormones to stop the lactation, and I can't really say I'm an easily embarrassed person, but just being there and hearing all that, it was kind of okay, but the doctor wasn't judgmental. But he was more like, you guys, you need to tone it down a bit, everything in moderation. Sure, it's nice to be young and have sex, but you're having milk and you have mastitis now, you're in pain, so you need to tone it down a bit, this kind of thing. So yeah, that is something that may happen to you if you are in this type of relationship and you don't have a baby. I always say that if something happens between consenting adults, it's totally fine. Overall, there has been so much more lactation pornography in the recent years, and it really makes you wonder why, because it's like if you open a porn site, you're going to stumble upon this type of video even if you're not really searching for it. And especially if you go to cam sites and amateur adult content sites, there are so many pregnant cam girls and lactating cam girls, and they make a shit ton of money. I would say I'm jealous of that. Like if I was ever pregnant, I would definitely film this type of video. So yeah, let's take to the practical aspect of how you can make money out of that. Obviously, if you're pregnant or if you're lactating and you want to sell that content, there are going to be so many buyers, you have no idea. There are all top dogs, the ones who have lactation fetish videos. Because as my sub says, there is not a lot of content of that nature. So if you are making it, it's bound to sell very, very well. Scarcity effect. I'm not going to encourage anyone to actually engage in those practices, but like I'm always saying, I have so many people saying, Persephone, I mean, like extreme financial stress, I'm going to lose my house, I'm going to lose my kidney, help me, help me. All I'm saying, throwing this idea out there. If you're into it and you can do it and you need the money, no one gets harmed if you post a video of yourself lactating, and you don't even have to show your face. That's what I'm saying. Another thing is, I read about a woman that she was having excessive milk production and she's selling her own milk. And not just to fetishists, but also to bodybuilders. This is something that I didn't know, that there are bodybuilders that they consume like human breast milk because they say that it's really pumped up with calories and help them like bulk up fast. I never thought about it, but if you really think that, I mean, it helps a baby grow up so fast, it makes sense why would someone who wants to gain weight fast use it. But in my opinion, you should be very careful when you do those things, because buying from non-verified sellers, you know, it's still human fluid, it may contain pathogens and so on. So it's something that you shouldn't just carelessly buy online. And like I said, I'm not going to encourage people to sell their milk. I think if you have excessive milk, the best thing to do is to donate it to women who don't have milk, or to people who lost their partner and now they have a baby. But I'm not going to judge you if you choose to go through that route. If you're a cam girl and you're not pregnant, you can always roleplay. And the people who are into that are going to buy your content. Okay, that was all for this fetish. If you have more fetishes you're into, just email me or write down